Chapter 5. The Ogre Village. Arriving back to the camping place we had set up, I was given some surprised looks. I guess I still was in my adult version and they had yet to see me this way. "Hello, guys," I said as I returned to my normal form. "Wait. How did you do that?" one of the dwarves asked. "Oh, it's just something I can do. Anyways, you guys should get ready to sleep. I'll keep watch. We should be arriving tomorrow." Arriving into the village, I could see the changes that had happened in the few days that I had been gone. Bundles of wood and resources are gathered and ready for use. And a few goblins coming and went with their wolf companions getting ready to hunt or returning from hunting. And as I got close, I could see the large group of goblins waiting near the center. Lord Rimuru called from a distance, "We have visitors. 500 goblins from other villages who heard of your fight and conquest of the Deerolds." The village's expansion was a good thing. So I welcomed them with open arms, and after spending 10 days naming them all, I left them with instructions on building, farming, and hunting. These past 10 days I have been quite busy. I asked Dord to make some clothes like the one Rimuru got after he became a demon lord, and now I had style points. I was able to ask Erin what spells she knew and learned a few simple spells. Skill earned, earth molding. Skill earned, wind steps. Skill earned, air slash. Skill earned, light. Skill earned, clean. They were pretty self-explanatory. Earth molding allowed me to control some of the ground in the area to make small adjustments. Wind steps made me faster. Air slash did well in air slash. Light created a small ball of light. And clean cleaned a small area. With the analysis skills of Great Sage, I realized how amazing a mage I would be. Once I took the kids to Ramras for their spirits. I would make sure to get as many element spirits as I could to analyze the elements and gain the elemental affinities. I was getting ready to leave for the ogre village when I was stopped by Lena. We had gotten close since that day in the forest. We were that typical couple who was dating but wasn't official yet. While I practiced my skills in preparation for the trip, she was there keeping me company. While I was busy giving names, she followed Rigurd's direction in ways she could help around the village. She was energetic and ready to work, which always helped motivate the other goblins to work harder. We had gotten a bit more done than expected thanks to her. With how fast everything had happened, I did have to ask Great Sage the question. "Sage, did the skill Predator's charm take effect on her?" "Understood. Yes, it does appear that the skill had taken effect on her the moment you started your mimicry. Though it was only for a second, it was enough to light a small fire which she eagerly fed until it became a bright fire. My analysis has deduced that she has been looking for a Prince Charming, and she decided that that prince was you. Now that the skill has been properly deactivated, any mimicry you do now won't affect the one who you gain your mimic form from if you do not want it to." "Whoa, Sage, that is quite the way to put it. Have you ever thought about becoming a poet?" "Understood. I have no desire to write poetry. If you excuse me, I am quite busy analyzing the unlimited imprisonment skill." I chuckled a bit. I guess even wise sages can get embarrassed. "So it is time for you to leave?" Lena asked. "Yes, I must make it to the ogre village. I have a skill that alerts me of dangers, and I can feel that I have about 2 weeks before something big happens in this forest that will stop me from helping a lot of people. I know that if I go to the ogres I can help them. You know, there are only about 300 of them left in the forest. It would be a shame if their lives were lost when I know I could save them." "Sigh, I understand. But please promise me that you will stay safe, okay?" "I promise. And don't worry, I will only be gone for 10 to 15 days tops. I'll be back before you can even say pneumonotramcroscopixelica volcanoconiosis." "What?" she said after a small laugh. "Exactly." After a short kiss, I left the village. This time I traveled only with Ranga. A trip that did not take as long as I had thought. I guess Ranga was trying to go as fast as possible to impress me, because we got to the village in just under an hour. Once the gate was in view, Ranga slowed down and walked towards the gate so that they would not see us as enemies. Once I was close enough to the gate, I transformed into my elven form and let Ranga jump into my shadow. The village appeared to be one surrounded by trees. With medium-sized houses that could fit in any fantasy starting village. A burly ogre with dark, slightly graying hair was standing at the door. "Halt, with what business do you come to the ogre village?" "I come with very important news. There is great danger coming this way. I must speak to your village chief as soon as possible." As soon as I let out those words, I flashed my magicules for a second so that they could feel that I was not a weakling they could push around. Ogres, while strong monsters, were only ranked BA if they were the strongest of their kind. The Tempest serpent I had easily killed before I left Valdora's imprisonment cave was rank A. The magicules I showed were enough to guess that if I wanted to I could force my way in. Just 1 second sir, I shall send a message as fast as I can. Quickly passing the message to another guard nearby, he stared awkwardly at me until someone with higher authority arrived. And in just a few minutes a very familiar face appeared. Medium-sized red hair, red skin, and 2 black horns on his forehead. This was no other than the ogre who would later become Benimaru. Follow me, I shall take you to the chief's house. The houses may have looked plain on the outside, but the inside clearly showed the Japanese heritage of the ogres from the people they had rescued in the distant past. If you have ever seen a Japanese house, then you can get a close idea of what their house looked like. That is if you remove most of the technology and plumbing. Sitting in front of me on the floor with a small table was who I assumed was the village chief. Surprisingly, it appeared Shuna had gotten her pink hair from him. A handsome face and long hair that reached his waist. With cream-colored skin and crimson-red eyes which had markings near them. 2 big black horns on his forehead. Standing behind him was the ogre who would become Hakuro. Old wrinkled white skin. And long white hair. He appeared to be ready to protect his leader at a moment's notice. And so, the conversation began. Chapter 6. The orcs who attacked the ogre village. I've heard you come with important news. May I hear what they are? Your village is in grave danger. Tens of thousands of orcs are headed in this direction. And they are being led by an orc lord. I believe you should evacuate before it is too late. The village leader's face instantly turned grim. He looked towards the white-haired ogre behind him and asked him to join the table as an advisor. What do you think about the situation? I know that our people are strong. But even if we are stronger than orcs, our village can't take a direct fight with more than 3,000 orcs at maximum. And not only are they coming in the tens of thousands, but they are also being led by an orc lord. My friend, I know your character discerning skills are better than mine. So, do you think we can trust this elf? A decision like this cannot be taken lightly. It would mean abandoning our homes. The white-haired ogre nodded and looked towards me. Tell me, why did an elf come out of his way to warn us about this danger? What do you expect in return for this favor? In truth, I hope for the ogres to join my village. I want to build a kingdom where monsters and magic can prosper. I know the strength we all have the potential to hold and want to stop us from being seen as inferior beings. I want to be able to grow a nation strong enough to be able to live in peace. Because in this world, if you are not strong, you are fated to become a puppet or die. In the end, I just want peace. That is why I must have the strength to protect it. Things are headed in a direction in which if no one steps in, the world will end in the hands of some madman or worse. And as for me being an elf, I hope you don't underestimate my strength by my form. My name is Rimuru Tempest and I am a slime. I turned into a slime for a second and then returned to my elf form. As for what benefits I can provide you, I promise a safe environment and a new village to be a part of. I can transfer all of your possessions with me so you won't have to abandon anything on your move. This new village that is currently being built will compare to the grand human cities and even surpass them with time. I can promise you that with my life and pride. Even though the construction is only just starting, I have great artisans helping me. And last, I promise to name all of the ogres in the village. I can only name 5 ogres a day, so it will take some time, but soon all of you will receive names. All I require is your loyalty. Silence filled the room. The white-haired ogre looked at the village chief and said, I don't feel lies in his speech. I believe he truly does mean what he says. In that case, I cannot risk the fate of my people. We shall evacuate your village. I can't say I accept your deal yet, as I have to consider the fate of my people. And the fact you say you are willing to name all of the ogres is a bit unbelievable. But I thank you for your warning and assistance. If for some reason we decide not to stay in your village, I will find a way to return the favor. I understand. In that case, let's get to work. We should have a few days left before the orcs arrive. A few days had passed since my arrival to the village. The news came as a shock to all the ogres in the village. And a few even believed I might have been deceiving them. However, they decided to place trust in their chief. Even with me storing the possessions of the ogres in the village in my stomach, a few preparations still had to be made before transporting so many people through a forest. And on the very day we were set to leave, a few ogre scouts, led by a familiar blue-haired ogre, came running to the chief. Chief. Rimuru spoke the truth. An army of orcs is approaching our direction. We have to start our evacuation now or else they will catch up to us. They are going with incredible speed, destroying anything in their path. All right. Everyone. It is time to leave. We have confirmed the presence of orcs, and they are approaching at incredible speed. We must leave now to live to fight another day. Rimuru, the old white-haired ogre, said, with so many people walking in the same direction, the orcs will be able to follow our tracks easily. I was expecting this. I will stay back to hold them off. I summoned Ranga from my shadow. Ranga will show you the way. Don't worry, I will catch up sooner than you think. But Lord Rimuru, I must stay near you to protect you. Ranga. Do you think I am so weak that I will get myself killed? Follow my order and lead the ogres. That way I will be able to fight all out without having to worry for their safety. Understood, my lord. Ranga went to the front of the group and began to lead the ogres away. As I got ready to head off to the orcs' location, the village chief, the white-haired ogre, a purple-haired ogre who I knew would become Xian, and a group of 27 ogres stayed behind with me. As the village chief, I cannot allow you to fight all by yourself. I chose 29 willing ogres to stay and fight for the village with me and you. I appreciate your help, but I please ask you to allow me to do the first attack. I have a strategy in mind to deal with the majority of them. We understand. Let's go as soon as we can to buy as much time as possible. We reached a big field in the forest and spotted the 10,000 orcs approaching our way. It's a bit of a shame. They are only doing this because they are starving. I wish I could stop them in another way, but until I stop the orc lord who has cast the skill, I guess this is the only way to end their hunger. I grew wings out of my back and flew near the orcs. They had spotted me and a few had started to head my way, but in the end, it was useless. This would all end quickly. Tsunami. Using control water, I released all of the water I had stored in my stomach. Enough to fill a medium-sized lake. The impact of getting hit by a lake's worth of water propelled forward with the use of control water was certainly enough to cause some damage, however I was not done yet. Black lighting. Lightning flew from my hands and struck the water repeatedly, instantly striking the water and electrifying all who were in it. In just a few seconds, over 3/4 of this army had been killed. Suddenly he dropped down from the sky and landed on the wet field. Using water control, he launched his last attack. Water blade barrage. Suddenly all the water in the ground rose and created 100 water blades. Each of them launched at top speed toward the remaining orcs. And, with the blades being able to cut through tens of orcs before losing enough power to not be lethal, the battle was quickly over. Damn, this is more exhausting than naming goblins. Looking around, he saw the piles of corpses. With a sad look, he said, I hope they at least get to rest in peace. Chapter 7. The Conqueror of Flames. Water control. I brought back all the water I had thrown out and consumed it again. The only reason I was able to defeat them all so easily with the number of magical I had at the moment was that I had brought all the water with me. Had I created the water with magic, I probably would have run out of magicules by the time I defeated only 1/4 of them. I saw the ogres approaching me in the distance. By the way, they were walking toward me, and with their blank expressions, I could tell they were in shock. They probably expected to lose their lives in a long drawn-out fight to give their families enough time to escape. Well, it is no use crying over spilled milk. I might as well eat the orcs to gain some skills and recover my magical. Might even increase my current capacity. Turning into a slime, I used Predator on the fallen orcs. My body became longer to eat as many as I could at once. And even though not all of the orcs had special skills, you are bound to get a few who do when you are eating 10,000 of them. You have obtained the skill Enhanced Strength. Increases your natural strength. You have obtained the skill of Feral Roar. Let out a roar that can lower the selected target's morale. You have obtained the skill of Rallying Cry. Let out a cry that can increase the morale and strength of allies. Increases the target natural teamwork for a short time. You have obtained the skill Libido. Bring out the lust in your body. Increases the chance of impregnation. Lowers loss of magical when a child has been made. You have obtained the skill of Horrible Scent. Allows you to concentrate and create bad-smelling scents. Stun your enemies by attacking their olfactory system. Is that it? Negative. Many other skills were obtained, however, due to them being inferior versions of skills you previously owned and newly gained, they were analyzed and turned into energy that was absorbed. Oh, I guess I can feel that my magical increased by a fair bit. My thought process was interrupted by the ogres reaching my location. "That I did not expect it," said the village chief. "That was amazing," said the familiar purple-haired ogre. All of the ogres who had followed me had one or two congratulatory words. But I had a realization that I had no time to waste. I had to get back to the village as soon as possible. If the orc attack was bound to happen either today or tomorrow, that meant that Shizu must be either in the village or about to enter it. "I'm sorry, but I have realized that I am a bit late for an appointment. I shall lead you towards where Ranga is, but after that I gotta go on ahead to reach my village as fast as possible. It is a bit of an urgent matter. We can talk more once all of you arrive at the village. I should be done with it by then." The ogres looked like they had some questions, but looking at my determined face they shut their mouths and nodded. After leading them towards where Ranga was, I dropped them off with their group with Ranga to lead them and left as fast as I could. With the help of shadow steps and the shadows made by the trees in the forest, I was able to reach the village in half an hour. Just as I was about to enter the village, I saw a small group I recognized running away from some giant ants. And in that group was the person I was looking for. Quickly stepping in, I created some steel threads all around the ant colony, and once they were all trapped, I threw some water blades at their heads. The group, seeing what appeared to be a random elf in his early teens pop out of nowhere and quickly deal with the ants that were causing them so much trouble, were a bit shocked. Cavel and his party were especially surprised that the one rescuing them was an elf due to their elvish background. And Shizu, wearing her mask, was hard to read. "Hello there," I said with a bright smile. "Looked like you were having some trouble there. Wanna come to my village to take a rest? You all looked a bit roughed up from your travels. This forest can be quite hard to go through." Cavel's party looked towards Shizu to see what she would say, and seeing the group asking for her guidance, she stepped forward. "We would appreciate a safe place to rest. My name is Shizu. And these three are Cavel, Ellen, and Guido. Alright, just a heads up, we are a monster village, but don't you worry, we are friendly monsters. We don't bite." "A village of monsters?" asked Ellen. "Wait, what do you mean by we?" "Oh, about that. I turned into a slime, I'm a slime. But I am not a bad slime, you know." When those words left my mouth, a stifled laughter was heard from Shizu. She pretended nothing happened when the party looked at her. "I think we can trust him," she said. "Let's go to his village." Trusting her adventuring knowledge, Cavel's party followed me to my village. Which had changed since the time I had brought the dwarves. Now it actually looked like a proper village. With some small houses made out of logs and the framework for a larger village starting to appear. Turns out that when you have 500 plus motivated workers with brand new evolution muscles, you get a lot done quickly. The villagers seeing me came to greet me, and I requested some of them organize a place for me and the companions to eat some food and to call for Garm and Cajun to repair the adventurers' equipment. Soon enough we were all seated in a small house, and the party began telling me about their travels and their struggles. They were thankful to finally get a moment's rest in this forest. After the food had been eaten, Shizu picked me up as I was still in my slime form and asked if she could talk to me. I of course agreed. Arriving on a small hill on the outskirts of the village, we began to talk. "So, tell me, Mr. Rimuru. Are you also a transmigrator?" Yes, I am." "Did my slime joke give it away? I noticed your laughter when I said it." "Yes, I have a friend who liked to play games before he came here. I think you two would get along well. His name is Yuki Kagurazaka, he is the Grandmaster of the Free Guild." Cough cough. Yeah, I think he sounds like a nice guy." With a small laugh, she asked. "Why are you suddenly acting all weird? Don't tell me you have met him before." No, I haven't met him yet. It's just that some guy I used to know back on Earth was named that way, and well, he was certainly very ambitious. Had big dreams, you know. Probably would try to rule the world if he could." Smiling brightly, she said, "Is that so?" After a small pause for laughter, she kept on talking. "My name is Shizu Izawa. Though I go by Shizu in this world. What is your real name?" "That? Well, if I am being honest, I have left that name behind. I prefer to just be called Rimuru Tempest now. You know, the one and only storm dragon Valdora gave me that name." "Oh, do you know what happened to him?" "He disappeared from this forest and that caused quite a commotion." "That we can talk about that later, but you don't have to worry about it, I promise he won't cause any trouble for a long time." Looking at me for a few seconds, she decided to give me a pass for now. "In that case, what can you tell me about the world before you came here?" I have been in this world for a long time, so it is not often that I get to hear news of my world. Sharing with her through my thought communication, I allowed her to get a picture of what the world was like before I left. To say she was shocked would be quite the understatement, but thanks to this she forgot about my slip of the tongue with Voldora. In the end, it was quite a good time spent with both of us. But as I had said before, all good things come to an end. Shizu, I have a skill called Analyze. And I can tell what is happening to you. The spirit inside you cannot be contained for too long. Soon enough he will break out. My comment killed the mood, but it had to be said. So you can tell I guess I knew this would happen, but I thought I had more time. If I am going to submit to him and lose control of my body so soon, I have a request for you. In the kingdom of Ingrassia Inglesia on the LN, in the Freedom Academy, there is a group of kids. They are like us. But they will die soon if we don't help them. Their bodies are not ready to handle their magical. I have been looking for a way to help them, but seeing the stressed out Shizu, I interrupted her before she could stress herself out more. I promise. Shizu, there might be a way. A way for me to heal you, remove the spirit inside of you. No, it's useless, I may not look it, but I am quite old. The moment I lose Ifrit I will die of old age. My body will not be able to handle the strain of losing Ifrit. Even then, I can help you. I believe I have a way to bring you back to your youth. Creating a copy of Cajun's sword, I said I could eat your body, and using analysis on it I could, in theory, use your own body as materials to rebuild it. If I do this carefully I could bring your soul back to the newly created body. A younger version, without Ifrit in it if you wanted it. Shizu stared at the sunset for a few minutes. Considering my offer. You said you could eat my body. Will that bring you any benefits? I wanted to be honest. Yes, I could gain your skills. In that case I want you to eat me. But I don't want you to bring me back. Huh? To tell you the truth, I hold nothing but spite for this world. I can't bring myself to hate it, for I have had many good experiences in it. And I feel the same way about the man who summoned me to this world, Leon Cromwell. Nothing but spite. The only thing keeping me moving forward is the children I used to teach in the Freedom Academy. But I trust you, Rimuru. I can tell you are a good man at heart. So if you can promise me you will try your best to help them, I will be able to finally die. And I don't want to be taken into this world. So please, eat me. You may take my skills as a form of payment if you want to see it that way. But I want to die as myself. I sighed. If that was her wish I could not deny it. I would respect her decision. Great Sage could measure her body and had told me she had around 5 minutes before losing control. I promise. Just before I ate her, a figure jumped from behind a nearby tree. Ellen screamed while running towards Shizu. Shizu. Why didn't you tell us? I am so sorry we forced you to use your skills. If we had been stronger, maybe you would have had more time, but… It's okay, Ellen. Shizu interrupted her. Please let your party know that I will be okay. I enjoyed the time I got to spend with all of you, and I wish I had enough time to say goodbye, but I can feel it. I don't. So please say goodbye to me. With that, she looked at me and nodded. I guess it was time. Activate Predator on the target. Shizu Izawa? Yes. No. Yes. Chapter 8. Using Degenerate. This chapter is going to have a bit of a skill dump due to how many skills I have to fuse and acquire. I'll let you know when it starts, even though it is very clear, so you can skip it if you want to. It is just a necessary evil. Don't worry though, I'll try to make this a rare occurrence. You have obtained the unique skill Degenerate. You have obtained the skill of Fire Spirit Magic. Allows the user to use Fire Spirit Magic. You have obtained the skill Spirit Summoning Magic. Summon Greater Fire Spirit Ifrit. Summon Medium Fire Spirit Salamander. The Greater Spirit Ifrit has been consumed. You have obtained the skill Control Flame. Allows the user to freely manipulate flames using the motion of magicules. You have obtained the skill Combustion. Allows the user to turn any part of their body made of magic violently into flames. You have obtained the skill Replication. Allows the user to create remote-controlled clones of themselves out of magic. The clones have the same strength and skills, except unique and ultimate skills, as the user, but they are significantly less durable and only have the amount of magical supplied to them upon creation. You have obtained the skill Ranged Barrier. Allows the user to create a barrier in any shape they specify within range. With that out of the way, I turned towards Ellen. She looked like she was on the verge of tears. So I turned back to my elvish form and I approached her to hug her. That was the final straw for her. She started crying, though her friendship with Shizu might have been a short one. The loss of a friend always hurts. She cried for a few minutes and hugged me tightly. After we separated, she said that we should return before the rest of her party worried for us. On the way back, I asked her how much of the conversation she had heard. She had arrived just a few minutes before I had told Shizu I knew about the spirit. She was going to come here to tell us that the food was ready. But, seeing her newly found friend having a moment with the handsome elvish boy, she decided to be a good wing woman and wait for an appropriate moment to enter the conversation. She asked a few questions about Shizu's problem, and I answered in simple ways, not revealing too much information, just enough for them to get a gist of what had happened. During the way back, she told me of her trip towards the forest with her party. Her time talking distracted her enough to dry the tears in her eyes. But the first question Cavil asked seemed to open the floodgates again. "Hey guys, food's ready. Better tell Shizu to come soon, otherwise I'll steal all of her food." Shizu, the tears appeared in her eyes. Shizu won't be able to make it back. Of course, this worried the party instantly. They quickly prepared to grab their swords before I stopped them and explained the situation with the help of Ellen. "So you are saying that she was on the verge of losing her powers? And that she decided to give up her life so that she wouldn't lose control?" Guido asked. The party had noticed Shizu acting a bit distant. They had even noticed her reluctance to use her powers unless necessary. Even then, it all sounded kind of crazy. Had it not been for Ellen's testimony, they might not have believed Rimuru. The party decided to call it an early night. While they were heading to bed, I took a look at my village. Seeing the smiles of all the hobgoblins gave me joy. The change from a small falling apart village to a village with actual housing and defense. Who could hunt and gather enough food to stay healthy? And who did not feel like they could die at any second? It all brought a smile to my face. To think that this was my village. And that this was only the beginning. "Sage, how much time do we have until the ogres arrive at the village?" "Understood." The approximate rate of travel through the forest with 300 ogres at the pace they had been traveling gives an estimate of 2 hours 17 minutes and 48 seconds. That is enough time for using Degenerate. Now this is where the fun begins. "Sage, do your thing." "Understood." Beginning use of the skill Degenerate. Combining the skill Control Flame, Flame Transform, and Control Water. Skill Dark Flame and skill Control Particles have been acquired. Combining the resistances with the skill Ranged Barrier. Skill Multilayer Barrier has been acquired. Activating Multilayer Barrier as a passive skill. Combining the skill Dark Lightning with the skill Control Particles. Skill Dark Thunder has been created. Combining the sub-skill Mimicry with Degenerate. Skill Universal Shapeshift has been acquired. Combining the skill Predator with Absorbing, Dissolving, and Self-Regeneration. Skill Ultra Speed Regeneration has been acquired. Combining the skill Ultrasonic Wave with Magic Sense. Skill Sense Soundwave has been acquired. Combining skill Sense Soundwave with Magic Sense and Sense Heat Source. Skill Universal Sense has been acquired. Combining the skill Universal Sense with Analyze. Skill Superior Analyze has been acquired. An enhanced version of the Analyze skill somewhere in between Great Sage and Raphael in terms of analyzing capabilities. Using separate on the skill Horrible Smell. Skill Scent Control has been acquired. Allows the user to control the smell and the pheromones that the body produces. Combining the skill Poison Breath and Paralyzing Breath with Control Particles. Skill Particle Breath has been acquired. Allows the user to shoot a gas of any element with different properties. For example, a fire breath that poisons and burns the target on contact. Combining the skill Replication with the skill Control Particles. Skill Perfect Replication has been created. Allows the user to create replications that can use any skills of the user. However, ultimate skills will be weakened on the clone. Depending on how many magical are provided to the replica, it can have an almost indistinguishable strength and durability from the user. Combining the skill Feral Roar with the skill Rallying Cry. Skill Commander Aura has been acquired. Strengthen your allies and debilitate your enemies. This skill allows the user to release an aura similar yet inferior to that of a king. Combining skills Sticky Thread and Steel Thread with skill Control Particles. Skill Universal Thread has been acquired. Allows the user to create threads with special properties. Example, freezing, burning, paralyzing, calming, etc. Combining all elemental magic into the skill Control Elements. Shadow Step has been enhanced with the skill Control Elements. Skill Shadow Magic and Shadow Travel have been acquired. Analyzing skill Thought Communication. Implementing upgrades. Combining skill with Universal Sense. Skill Shared Mind has been acquired. Combining skill Predator's charm with the skill's libido and scent control. The skill combination failed. Analyzing current skills. Forcefully attempting to combine skills. Combination failed. Analyzing reasons for failure. Adjusting combination method. Forcefully combining skills. Unique skill heroes has been acquired. At that moment I could hear Sage having a realization. Attempting to forcefully evolve skill Great Sage. Evolution failed. Analyzing the reason for failure. Attempting to change parameters for evolution. Evolution failed. Analyzing. It appears that your current body is unsuitable for ultimate skills. Evolution is required for your body to have the ability to contain such skills. The recommended path of action is to become a true demon lord. The evolution process is the best time to implement ultimate skills to enhance both magical and body quality. Good luck. Yikes, all of that gave me a headache. But now that it is out of the way I don't have to worry about combining skills for a while. That last skill, Heroes. What does it do? Understood. The unique skill Heroes allows the user to command the forces of life and death respectively. The sub-skills are Resurrect. Allows the user to bring the target back to life. It can also be used for healing. It requires a great affection for the target to bring them back to life and for a short time to have passed since death. Invigorate. Allows the user to strengthen both himself and the target through sexual acts. Small acts such as kissing can give a very small boost in lifespan. Big acts, such as having sex, can enhance both the user and the target's magical count and physical strength. Charm. It makes the user more appealing to anyone who sees, hears, or smells the user. Can be enhanced with magicules to increase its effects. Death Blessing. It allows the user to transform the target's life force into death. The effectiveness of this skill greatly lowers if the user is weaker than the target. Debilitate. Attacks the target with a death-infused attack. It temporarily lowers the target's strength, magical, defense, and endurance. Effectiveness lowers the stronger the target is from the user. Wow, that skill is kinda broken. I can see how Luminous became so strong and influential with a skill so similar to this. I mean, this is pretty much the same skill as hers. Though I guess the skill Lust was already taken by her, so I got this one. I have some time to practice my skills before the ogres arrive. Let's get to it.